There have been many great captains in cricket history. There have been many great batsmen too. But very few have mastered both roles quite like Clive Lloyd. Under his leadership, the West Indies became the most dominant team in world cricket. A team so powerful that opponents often looked beaten before the match had even begun. And with the bat, Lloyd was just as intimidating. But by 1984, Lloyd was 40 years old and playing the final test series of his legendary career. Many believed his greatest days were behind him, but at Adelaide, the West Indian captain turned back the clock and produced one final masterpiece. This is the story of how a 40-year-old Clive Lloyd destroyed Australia. West Indies won the toss and chose to field first, a decision that immediately paid off. The fearsome West Indian bowling attack put Australia under relentless pressure, dismissing them for just 175. The visitors looked set to take control, but when West Indies slipped to 184 for 5, the game was still alive. And that was when Clive Lloyd walked to the crease. The captain, the legend, the 40-year-old veteran playing his final test series. And Adelaide was about to witness something special. Lloyd announced his intentions almost immediately, dancing down the pitch to Bob Holland and smashing him for 4. That shot set the tone, and Australia's bowlers quickly discovered that the old lion still had plenty of fight left in him. About 20 minutes after arriving at the crease, Terry Alderman dropped one shot, and Lloyd punished him with a savage hook shot for 6. The crowd erupted. The West Indies dressing room loved it. The Australians probably didn't, because from that moment onwards, Lloyd looked completely unstoppable. The Australians tried pace, Lloyd attacked. They tried spin, Lloyd attacked. They changed fields, Lloyd still attacked. There seemed to be no way of slowing him down. His footwork was sharp, his timing was magnificent, and most importantly, his confidence was overflowing. Boundaries flowed through the covers. Pull shots raced to the fence. Powerful drives thundered straight down the ground. The Australian bowlers must have been wondering whether they were facing a 40-year-old veteran or the Clive Lloyd of 10 years earlier. And while Lloyd was putting on a batting exhibition, Richie Richardson provided excellent support at the other end. Together, the pair transformed the match, adding 152 runs for the 6th wicket in just 122 minutes. And what looked like a competitive position quickly turned into a nightmare. And throughout it all, Lloyd was the dominant figure. The captain leading from the front, the veteran showing the youngsters how it was done, the old master turning back the clock. And then came the moment everyone was waiting for. A delivery drifted onto Lloyd's bats, and he clipped it away for 3 runs to bring up a magnificent 100. The crowd rose to applaud, his teammates celebrated, and even the Australians could only admire what they had seen. It was a superb 100, built on courage, aggression, experience, and class. And by the time his innings ended, he had scored 113 runs from 154 balls, striking 3 sixes and 14 fours. And perhaps fittingly, this was the very same ground where he had scored his first test century against Australia years earlier. His magnificent 113 helped West Indies reach 424 and put the match beyond Australia's reach. The hosts were bowled out for 271 in their second innings, leaving West Indies just 23 runs to win. The chase was completed with ease. Another victory for the world's best team. Another dominant performance. And another reminder of why the West Indies ruled cricket during the 1980s. When people remember Clive Lloyd, they usually think of the captain who built the West Indies dynasty. But innings like this deserve to be remembered too, because this wasn't just a century, it was a statement. At 40 years old and playing the final test series of his career, Lloyd produced one final masterpiece, reminding the cricket world why he was one of the game's true giants. And if Lloyd's century broke Australia's resistance, what Michael Holding did with the ball completely shattered it. To watch that incredible story, click on the video displayed on your screen.